Fear. A four-letter word I know you've heard before. It lives under your bed, and it loves to get inside your head. It torments you with every little bump in the night, makes your courage take flight, convincing you right is wrong and wrong is right. As long as it's in your life, it'll steal your sight. Yes, fear. A four-letter word I know you've heard before. You paint a picture with a mixture of soul and talent, but that painting remains absent in that gallery which seems like an art palace, 'cause a four-letter word called fear rears its ugly head and tells you you're not good enough. That instead, you should just lie in bed, trapped inside your head, give in to your dread, and just play dead. Yes, fear. It's what keeps you here. She sits out in the sunlight, shining so bright that angels become jealous, 'cause they've never seen such a sight. And you fight the urge to go over and emerge from your shell and tell her you love her, and that you concur that she's the brightest star ever. But whatever is what she'd say. She'd tell you stay away, never in a million years, and especially not today. At least that's how it goes in your head, and the fear begins to spread. Oh look, she's found another guy instead. You take the book from their hands, yet another adoring fan of the best-selling book that you began with nothing but a dream and a passion to take a stand and change people's lives. Wake up, says the boss, as you realize you were just lost in a dream, because you were too afraid of what it might cost to achieve that dream years ago. So because of your fear, now you'll never know. Fear. A four-letter word often heard as we let it steer our life like a knife to our back as we crack under the pressure, always feeling like we're lesser, but we're better than this. Get up out the abyss, dismiss all the demons, and don't ever stop dreaming, because without it there's no meaning to life. Of course there'll be strife, but to be who we are, we gotta fall and get some scars. It's not failure we should fear, it should be never trying, and lying to ourselves year after year, letting our fear control our destiny. So you have to choose to live inside your head and become a slave to fear, or come and jump with me instead. Sometimes you're going to fall, but that's still better than never getting out of bed. Peace.
When I have fears that I may cease to be, before my pen has gleaned my teeming brain, before high-piled books in charactery hold like rich garners the full ripened grain, when I behold upon the night's starred face huge cloudy symbols of a high romance, and think that I may never live to trace their shadows with the magic hand of chance. And when I feel, fair creature of an hour, that I shall never look upon thee more, never have relish in the fairy power of unreflecting love, then on the shore of the wide world I stand alone, and think, till love and fame to nothingness do sink.
I'm afraid of a lot of things. I'm afraid of the dark, of public speaking, of dying alone, of those awkward greetings where he goes for a handshake and I go for a knuckle bump and I end up looking like an absolute chump. I'm afraid of looking dumb. There's so much to overcome. I'm afraid of being mugged, that I'll never find true love. I'm afraid that my wife will wake up one morning and say she's had enough. And I'll be like one of those bums that you find on the street corner, just asking for some spare quarters. You see, no matter how old I get, I can't seem to loosen the grip of fear from my lips. I used to have a stutter and a lisp. My S's would sound like this. And it was so embarrassing to where even now the remnants of my stutter and lisp play a much bigger emphasis on my life than I care to admit. I can't seem to forget the not too silent diss from the kids in middle school saying, "Silly Michael, spit it out," sounding like Porky the Pig with a sponge in his mouth, soaking up all the S syllables as I would stumble over my words until I would just stop speaking so my stutter wouldn't be heard. And I know that may sound absurd, but I used to think that I was just this little dude whose throat swelled up in interviews for fear that stuttering is not what winners do. I used to tell girls that they could pick some bigger dude who can converse over dinner food without sounding clueless like Mr. Magoo. But one day God said, "Michael, in your weakness my glory will shine through." And I don't really know what happened. It was definitely not from any of my actions. Like a Holy Spirit chemical reaction, my stutter was soon overcome. So this is for the ones who think that no one notices, whose days are filled with hopelessness. I am living proof that you have a purpose, that your testimony goes further than just what is on the surface. Because if God could take David, a little shepherd boy, and make him king with no bloodline of royalty, if he could use Paul, a man who hated the church, to become the leading ambassador of the gospel, if he could use the disciples, men who were told that they were not good enough to become the foundations of the church, then he can use you. So don't give up and don't count yourself out. Don't sell yourself short when you have the Spirit of the Lord. Because there's no one who can break you, no one who can take you, no one who can shake you, because the one who created you is bigger than all of that. He's bigger than all of your fears from all of those years and those tears of crying on your pillows from those years of wanting to be normal. But God doesn't use those who are normal. He uses those who are willing to be themselves. So be you, the individual. Not the you that you piece together from magazine models or Nicholas Sparks novels. Be you, the uniquely created, special and sacred individual. You, the one with experiences, opinions, and beliefs, the things that make you unique. Your scars, share them. Your broken hearts, wear them. Don't let others' critical remarks pierce you in the arms like barbs where they hold you back from being you. Stay true to being you. No matter what others might do, stay true to being you, because in your weakness, God's glory will shine through. To stay true to being you. Boom. Now we have the world famous Jake Dixon to come and play the song.
Fear has made my body its home, a resting place to lay its head, to feed. My courage became breakfast in bed, just enough fuel to feed this disease that eats at me. You can see its darkness seeping through my pores. It dressed me. Clothed in brown skin, I wore this. I wore fear the same way I wear black every day, and I hate it. I hate it. The same way you hate the cold in the winter. The burning feeling in your chest with every shot of alcohol, yet you still drink. Yet you still bundle up to play in the snow, so tell me, what is there to really be afraid of? I've learned that this fear is just a figment of my imagination that I've let control me. A set of strings playing my life like musicians do violins and symphonies. I'm tired of this song. I think it's time to change it.